Hello, Tony here, back on my channel once more with another deck profile. After a months-long delay, Ghost from the Past is finally out, and with it comes the release of a plethora of new deck options for us to explore, one of which we'll be looking at this week with the new support to come out for Dragunity. Now, to provide some historical context, Dragunities are a Synchro-based archetype consisting of Winged Beast non-tuner Dragon Riders and Dragon Tuner Dragon Mounts that was released all the way back in Hidden Arsenal 3. Throughout the years, they've received support here and there, not only in main sets such as Starstrike Blast and Cybernetic Horizon, but also in specialty product including their own structure deck, Dragunity Legionnaire, as well as the recently released Ghost from the Past. And with all that support, alongside being an archetype that semi-supports dragons, Dragunities have seen a number of variations pop up in the meta throughout the years, starting off as a level 8 Synchro Turbo deck, before evolving into a Dragon Ruler deck, before then becoming a Crystal Wing Turbo deck, before then employing Guard Dragons, and then finally reaching today with the new support from Ghosts from the Past, now becoming a standalone Synchro build-up board deck capable of putting out powerful Synchro monsters level 8 to 10 to create a powerful negation board that your opponent can't out, something that I hope to showcase as I get through the deck profile. Anyway, I've drawn on enough. Without a further ado, let's get into the deck profile. Starting off the deck profile with the tuners, we have 5 level 2 monsters consisting of 3 Dragunity Phalanx as well as 2 Dragunity Couse. Functionally, these cards work the same. While equipped to a monster, they can special summon themselves onto the field, where the only difference between them is that Couse here, when used as a synchro material, can be used as a level 4, but can only be used to synchro summon a Dragunity synchro monster. Looking at the shared effect that these two monsters have, it's pretty easy to see what the strategy of Dragunities will be. Due to the fact that both these monsters' effects are not once per turn, the goal of this deck will be to equip these monsters multiple times to then special summon themselves onto the field to perform synchro summons or link plays. The fact that both these monsters are level 2 tuners makes them very flexible in performing any number of level 6 to 8 synchros, and the fact that they're level 2 dragon type monsters also allows them to produce guard dragon plays as well. And while Phalanx here is much more flexible due to the fact that you don't need to make a Dragunity synchro monster, the fact that Couse can be treated as a level 4 does allow this deck to access some of its more powerful level 8 Dragunity synchro monsters for some very powerful plays as well. Moving on to a new addition from Ghosts from the Past, we have our 3 Dragunity Remus. Remus, like Couse, can only be used for a synchro summon of a Dragunity synchro monster, but unlike Couse or Phalanx, it doesn't have an effect to special summon itself while equipped. Instead, Remus, while in hand, can be discarded to search for a crucial field spell known as Dragon Ravine, and while in the graveyard, should you control another Dragunity monster, you can special summon Remus from the graveyard, but it will be banished when it leaves the field, and when you do so, you can no longer summon anything from the extra deck but dragon monsters. Compared to Couse or Phalanx, Remus definitely lacks the playmaking potential that the other 2 tuners have. However, what it lacks in that playmaking potential, it makes up in its versatility. Being able to search for Dragon Ravine is huge given how Dragon Ravine is crucial for a number of setup plays for this deck, and the fact that Remus puts itself in the graveyard to search for that Dragon Ravine sets itself up for its second effect as well. And it's important to note that the second effect doesn't require that Remus be equipped to special summon itself, meaning that unlike Phalanx or Couse, which are reliant on that equip going off, Remus can put itself on the field as long as you have the ability to put another Dragunity monster onto the field, thus allowing you to put an additional body for further plays as well without the condition of the equip. Moving on to our Winged Beast Dragunity Dragon Mounts, we have the 3 Dragunity Senatus alongside the 1 Dragunity Dux. Both these cards share an effect to equip a Dragunity Dragon type monster from somewhere onto themselves. Senatus here allows you to equip from the deck. By discarding 1 Dragunity card, Senatus can equip any Dragunity Dragon Tuner monster directly from the deck to itself, while Dux here equips from the graveyard. Upon being normal summoned, Dux can target 1 level 3 or lower Dragunity Dragon monster and equip it to itself. Alongside a Phalanx or a Couse, Senatus or Dux serves as a 2-card combo that forms the basis of a majority of your Dragunity boards. The idea is that by putting Dux or Senatus on the field, you'll use their effects to equip a Dragunity level 2 tuner monster from the deck or graveyard, then special summoning out that tuner onto the field with its own effect to then go into a synchro or link play to begin building your board from there. Ideally, you want to be playing 3 Senatus compared to Dux due to the fact that Senatus is much more versatile. Being able to equip any Dragunity tuner monster from the deck gives you the option of equipping a Couse or Phalanx depending on the situation at hand and what you have available, while Dux here can only equip whatever is available in the graveyard. However, you still want to be playing the one Dux given the fact that compared to Senatus, Dux doesn't have a discard to equip a monster, meaning that if you're low on card economy, you can use Dux instead of Senatus instead to start your plays without giving up some of your valuable cards in hand. Moving on to another new addition from Ghosts from the Past, we have our 3 Dragunity Legatus. Legatus, compared to Dux or Senatus, doesn't actually have an effect to equip a Dragunity tuner monster from the deck or graveyard. Instead, Legatus can special summon itself from the hand should you control a Dragon Ravine or another Dragunity monster. And should you actually have a Dragunity monster equipped to something, you can target one spell or trap on the field and destroy it. Like Remus, the Phalanx, and Couse, Legatus doesn't have the same playmaking potential compared to Senatus or Dux. However, like the previous example, what it lacks in playmaking potential, it makes up in versatility. Spell and trap removal is always nice, but what makes Legatus so good is that special summon effect. Previously in Dragunity, there wasn't a lot of ways to put a free winged beast onto the field outside of your normal summon, meaning that in a lot of situations, if that winged beast was removed from the field before you got your synchro plays off, you generally didn't have a way to get back into it. Legatus being able to special summon itself not only off of a Dragunity monster you control, but also a field spell in Dragon Ravine means that you can put itself onto the field without much trouble, which alongside any Dragunity tuner monster is a great way to get back into your plays, making this card a fantastic extender or recovery play to start your boards with. Now, in the structure deck Dragunity Legionnaire, we were introduced to a sub-archetype of Dragunity monsters known as Dragunity Arma, which were actually Dragunity Dragon-type monsters that equipped other Dragunity Dragon-type monsters from the graveyard, one of which being our 3 Dragunity Mystletainn. Mystletainn can special summon itself by tributing any Dragunity monster on the field, and upon being special summoned from the hand this way, can target one Dragunity Dragon-type monster in the graveyard and equip it to itself. Being a Dragunity monster that can special summon itself from the hand and then can also equip a Dragunity Dragon monster from the graveyard, Mystletainn is a fantastic extender beyond your Rider tuner play. But what makes this card very powerful recently is the fact that it's a level 6, which means alongside another level 6 monster, Mystletainn can be overlaid to make Erratic Dragon of a Tomb to summon out any other dragon. However, thanks to new support, Mystletainn actually also receives a little different benefit in the fact that it can equip any Dragunity Dragon monster compared to the other Dragon Riders which only equip Dragunity tuner monsters from the graveyard, now allowing you to equip other monsters such as your Dragunity Synchro monsters which can then be used alongside new support for some very interesting plays that we'll explore later. Wrapping up the Dragunity monsters, we have the one Dragunity Arma Ravine. Ravine, like Mystletainn, can special summon itself, but unlike Mystletainn, Ravine can special summon itself from the hand or graveyard by banishing any monster equipped to a Dragunity monster on the field. Upon being special summoned or normal summoned in any way, it can target any dragon monster and equip it to itself, and should this card be destroyed by a card effect, it can special summon the equipped monster onto the field. Due to Ravine's high level of 8, making Synchro exceeds or link plays with this card can be hard at times. However, the niche benefits that Ravine provide far outweigh the limitations it generates. Starting with that equip effect, it's important to note that like all the other Dragunity monsters that I mostly mentioned, this effect is not a hard once per turn, meaning that as long as you have a way to put Ravine back onto the field either through its own effect or other card effects, you can continuously equip dragon monsters from the graveyard, including your Dragunity tuners, to build boards from there. Furthermore, speaking of that equip effect specifically, it's important to note that that effect doesn't equip just Dragunity tuner monsters, it equips any dragon monster, meaning that you can also equip things like Dragon Buster, a card that is probably inducing a lot of PTSD in some players, to lock down your opponent as well. Fine, the fact that it can special summon itself back from the hand or graveyard means that once you get it into circulation, you can abuse it a multitude of times off of its own effect to build a powerful monster at the end of your combo. Progressing on to outside support, we begin with a familiar engine consisting of 3 Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon alongside the 1 Dark Worm that it searches. Previously, we saw this engine in Infernity where you used Revolution Dragon to search Darkworm, and in Dragunities you could use it the same way. By discarding Darkworm while you control no monsters, you can then bring back Darkworm as an additional body. However, in Dragunities, Revolution Dragon actually has a secondary purpose. While in the scale, Revolution Dragon can destroy itself to special summon back any Dragon Synchro monster from the graveyard, serving as a reborn for any Dragon Synchro monster. And as it turns out, your entire X deck mostly consists of Dragon type Synchro monsters, making Revolution Dragon not only a great way to bring back some of your Dragunity Synchro monsters, thus allowing you to abuse their effects, but also bring back some of your powerful end boards as well, thus making this card not only a great recovery tool, but also a fantastic extender beyond your Rider Tutor combo. Moving out the dragons, we're then playing a Winged Beast engine consisting of 2 Mist Valley Baby Rock as well as 1 Zephyros the Elite. Both of these Winged Beasts have effects to special summon themselves from the graveyard in different circumstances. Mist Valley Baby Rock, when this card is discarded by a card effect, you can special summon this card from the hand. Note the when you can, meaning that this card can miss timing. Zephyros, on the other hand, can special summon itself from the graveyard by bouncing back any face-up card to your hand and then taking 400 damage. Zephyros here not only allows you to bounce back something like a Dragon Ravine, thus allowing you to reuse that Dragon Ravine, but also puts a Winged Beast non-tuner body onto the field, which alongside a Dragunity Dragon Tuner monster can go into your Dragunity Synchro plays as well. Meanwhile, Mist Valley Rock, due to the fact that it misses timing, can only be triggered off of one specific means, that being your Dragunity Gay Durg. But due to the fact that Gay Durg's effect is not once per turn, and you're playing cards like your Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon to bring it back, it's very common to add Rock and discard Rock to special summon Rock multiple times throughout the game, meaning that it is beneficial to play multiple Rocks so that you can special summon it multiple times to make multiple Synchro monsters off of that effect. Finally, rounding off the monsters, we're playing the 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, a monster that we can summon off our Hieratic Dragon of a Tomb, serving as another reborn for any Dragunity Synchro monster in the graveyard, as well as the 1 aforementioned Dragon Buster Sword, which we can equip to Ravine to lock our opponent out of the extra deck. Moving on into the spells, we begin with the most crucial spell in the deck in the previously aforementioned 3 Dragon Ravine. Dragon Ravine is a field spell which once per turn allows you to discard a card to either add 1 level 4 or lower Dragunity monster from your deck to your hand, or send any dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard. For a card with such a simple effect, there's actually quite a lot to unpack here with Dragon Ravine. Starting with its search effect, the ability to search for any low-level Dragunity monster not only allows you to grab things like Dux or Senatus for the Rider end of your combo, but also allows you to send things like your Phalanx from your hand to the graveyard, or add a Phalanx from the deck to your hand to be discarded off of a Senatus for the Dragon end of your combo as well. And this is a search effect that only gets better depending on what Dragunities you can search with it. For example, thanks to the fact that we now have Legatus, Dragon Ravine can now also search a Winged Beast extender as well to start combos that way also. Moving on to the dumping end of Dragon Ravine, Dragon Ravine's effect to dump any dragon not only allows you to dump things like Ravine, which can then be brought back by its own effect, but also allows you to dump other dragons that you would otherwise want in the graveyard. Things like Darkworm, which can special summon itself back from the graveyard as well as something like your Dragon Buster to be equipped, thus making this card not only an amazing setup for your hand, but also set up in the graveyard as well. And like most of the other Dragunity cards, Dragon Ravine is not a hard once per turn, meaning that once it's bounced back by something like a Zephyros, or you add a second copy off of something like a Remus, you can activate that Dragon Ravine, and as long as you have cards in hand, continue to put cards either into the graveyard or into your hand to build a bigger board that way also. Moving on to another new addition from Ghosts from the Past, we're playing 3 Dragunity Glow. Dragunity Glow is a spell card which, when activated, allows you to search for any level 5 or higher Dragunity monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Furthermore, while in the graveyard, you can banish Glow to then target one of the monsters equipped to a Dragunity monster you control and special summon it onto the field. Just as Dragon Ravine was meant to add your low-level Dragunity monsters, Dragunity Glow here was meant to add your high-level Dragunity Arma monsters, specifically your Dragunity Arma Mystletainn, of which you can extend from. And when I mean extend, I mean that in actually a multitude of ways. Not only can Glow grab Mystletainn, of which it can then special summon itself onto the field to equip any Dragunity Dragon monster, Glow can then be banished from the graveyard after it's been activated to then special summon whatever you equip off of Mystletainn onto the field. As I mentioned previously, Dragunity Mystletainn can not only equip any Dragunity Tuner monster, but any Dragunity Dragon monster, meaning that not only can equip the tuners, but can also equip the Dragunity Dragon Synchro monsters as well, most of them being level 6. This not only gives you the ability to re-abuse the effects of some of your Dragunity Synchro monsters, like your Gay Durg, but due to the fact that Mystletainn and that level 6 monster are both level 6, they can then be overlaid to make Hieratic Dragon of a Tomb to extend that way as well. Finally, due to the fact that Dragunity Glow can add from graveyard or deck, it means that regardless of whether your Mystletainns are in the deck or in the graveyard, you'll always have a way of resolving this effect to start your combos from. Wrapping up the Dragunity spells, we're playing the 1 Dragunity Divine Lance. Divine Lance is an equipped spell which can only be equipped to a Dragunity monster, and upon doing so, gives that monster 100 attack times its level, as well as trap immunity. Furthermore, while equipped to a Dragunity monster, you can then equip any Dragunity tuner monster directly from your deck onto that monster. Now in most cases, you'll be using Divine Lance as a means to equip another tuner onto a monster to then special summon that tuner to combo off from there. However, in a number of very weird situations, you can also use this card equipping it to a high level Dragunity monster like the newly added Arita Bear, a monster that we'll cover later, to give that monster an additional attack as well as protection against things like Strike, thus making it a powerful Juggernaut as well for end boards also. Wrapping up the spells with some general cards, we're playing the 1 Terraforming as another way to get into our Dragon Ravine, we're playing the 1 Monster Reborn as another form of revival, we're playing the 1 Foolish Burial to send monsters from our deck to the graveyard, mainly our Dragunity tuners, we're playing the 1 Call by the Grave for general hand traps, as well as we're also playing 3 Dark Ruler No More. Now you may have noticed I'm actually not playing any hand traps in this deck, and that's mostly just a meta call. In this current format with things like Dragon Link or Dinos, these decks are capable of playing through multiple hand traps, but they aren't really good at playing defense, meaning that a card like Dark Ruler No More can just turn off their board, thus allowing me to build my board to out their board instead, making this card a much more economic benefit compared to something like a hand trap instead. And compared to something like Droplets, I'm not discarding cards to utilize that effect, thus allowing me to keep my hand, making Dark Ruler No More just a better turn-off card for the format. Finally, at worst, if I don't have a way to use Dark Ruler No More if I am going first, I can at least discard it off of something like my Dragon Ravine for setup as well, thus meaning that this card is rarely ever dead in any situation. Rounding off the entire main deck with the last card, we have the 1 Dragunity Oubliette. Dragunity Oubliette is a counter trap which will negate any spell or trap that's activated while you control a Dragunity Synchro monster. But should you control a level 10 or higher Dragunity Synchro monster, you can also have that monster gain additional attack as well. Now in most cases, Oubliette serves as a way to protect against your opponent's Dark Ruler No More, and it's a card that you can search off with something like your Dragunity Knight Romulus. And in most cases, while Romulus is meant to search extenders, should you already have the extenders, you can instead therefore grab Oubliette as another form of protection to make your board a little more threatening against things that would otherwise out it, thus giving you an additional form of protection against all the common board breakers that you would see in the current meta. Moving on into the X deck, we start off with the Dragunity Synchro monsters, with the most important one being Dragunity Knight Guy Durg. Guy Durg is a level 6 Dragon type Synchro monster that can be made using a Winged Beast non-tuner and a Dragon type tuner monster, and once returned while on the field, you can add a level 4 or lower Winged Beast or Dragon type monster and then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. Now in some cases, you can use this card to grab something like a Legatus, but in most cases you'll be discarding directly what you add from the deck, which not only allows you to dump things like your Zephyros from your deck to the graveyard, but in most cases will allow you to dump things like your Mist Valley Baby Rock, which in this case can't trigger. This means that while you can use this effect to add a Mist Valley Baby Rock, you can then discard the Baby Rock to special the Baby Rock, which can then be synchroed with the Guy Durg to make something like a Crystal Wing for an endgame board. And due to the fact that Guy Durg's effect is not a hard one to return, as long as you have means to bring it back with something such as your Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon, you could abuse this effect multiple times to add multiple Baby Rock to special Baby Rock to make multiple Synchro monsters that way as well. Moving on from there, we're playing the 1 Dragunity Knight Lewin as well as the Dragunity Vajrayana, monsters that can equip Dragunity Dragon monsters from the graveyard as another form of extension, as well as the 1 Dragunity Knight Barca. Dragunity Knight Barca is a level 8 Dragon type Synchro monster which, like Guy Durg and all the other Dragunity Knights, can be made using a non-tuner Winged Beast monster and a Dragon type tuner monster, and upon being summoned can equip any number of Dragunity Dragon monsters from the graveyard. This not only allows you to equip a multitude of your Dragunity tuners, which can then all be special summoned for infinite extension, but also allows you to then equip something like another Dragunity Guy Durg, which can be special summoned off of Glow, or you could just banish Barca in that situation to summon out a Ravine. Finally, wrapping up the Dragunity Synchro monsters, we're playing the 1 newly added Dragunity Arita Bear. Dragunity Arita Bear is a level 10 Synchro monster which, when on the field, can negate a monster effect by banishing a Dragunity monster from your graveyard and then banishing that monster that it negates, thus acting as a endboard negation that's level 10, which you can make with a Ravine. Furthermore, it also has an additional effect where if it runs over a monster by battle, it can banish it instead, thus acting as removal that way as well. And wrapping up all the Dragunity extra monsters, we're also playing the 1 Dragunity Romulus, which can search for any Dragunity spell or trap or Dragon Ravine upon summon, not only allowing you to grab things like Glow or Lance for extension, but also Dragon Ravine for setup as well. Finally, wrapping up the deck profile with a remainder of our X deck, we're playing the 1 Boarlord Savage Dragon as a level 8 negation that we can make, we're playing a Crystal Wing which we can make using something like a Gyderg and a Mist Valley Rock as another form of monster negation, we're playing the 1 Hieratic King of Atum which we can make using Mystletainn and any level 6 Dragunity Synchro monster to summon out something like a Red MD from deck, or we're playing the Guard Dragon package since we are playing low level dragon type monsters which you can't convert into those, we're playing the 1 Dragon Whelp, a dragon monster that we can make using any 2 monsters, which can also dump Dragon Buster Sword to be equipped off our Ravine. We're playing the 1 Hieratic Seal as a form of removal in our end board. We're playing the 1 Triple Burst as a way to combo with our Guard Dragons, as well as the 1 Dark Steel to be made off of Triple Burst and any Guard Dragon to provide extra arrows for the following Guard Dragon. So it's at this point that we reach the combo component of the deck profile. And one of the things I've noticed with these combo components is that they take up a rather large amount of time of the overall deck profile, usually comprising about 1/3 of the overall video and putting the video well over the 25-minute mark. This problem is exacerbated by the fact that Dragunity is a rather combo heavy deck with combos that have multi-steps, and as a result of that, some of these combos could take upwards of 5 to 6 minutes, meaning that if I were to do a minimum of 2 test hands, the video will well over be a 35-minute mark video, something that I don't think a lot of people would enjoy. As a result of that, for this specific week, I'll only be doing 1 test hand, but have no fear. In the following week, I will be doing another combo extender video, like the one I did for Drytron before Dragunity, of which will explore other test hands as well as other set combos that we can produce with the Dragunity deck. Anyway, the deck is shuffled up, the cards are ready, let us begin. So the combo hand that we'll be working with this week is going to be comprised of 1 Dragunity Phalanx, 1 Dragunity Arma Mystletainn, 1 Dragunity Legatus, another Dragunity Legatus, and a Dark Worm. Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you, this hand, well, it's not the greatest. I still think that there's a combo that can be made, but it's going to require some big brain to be able to produce anything out of this. Especially since in this given combo, we have no way of abusing the Dark Worm, the Legatus can only be special summoned once, and we already opened the Mystletainn, but we don't have the Glow. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start by normal summoning the Phalanx, before then special summoning out the Legatus, since I control a Dragunity monster. From there, I'm then going to actually tribute the Phalanx to special summon out the Arma Mystletainn before equipping the Phalanx with Mystletain's effect, and then special summon the Phalanx back onto the field. From there, I'm then going to Synchro summon using the Phalanx and the Legatus to summon out my Dragunity Gyderg. Once Gyderg is on the field, I'm going to activate Gyderg's effect, and I think I'm going to grab a Dragunity Remus here, since I do want a Dragon Ravine to hopefully fix my hand. And since I do want to keep the Remus, I'm going to have to discard something else. So in this case, I'm going to discard the Supreme King Dark Worm since it's kind of dead right now. From there, since I actually control 2 level 6 monsters, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to overlay the Mystletainn and the Gyderg to summon out my Hieratic Dragon King of Atum. I'm going to activate Atum's effect, detaching material, in this case being the Gyderg, to summon out a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon from my deck. I'm then going to activate Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon's effect to bring back the Gyderg, and I'm going to use Gyderg's effect once more. This time, I think I'm going to send a Zephyros from my deck to the graveyard. I'm going to add the Zephyros, and then discard the Zephyros. From there, I'm going to activate Remus' effect, discarding it to then add Dragon Ravine from my deck to my hand. Okay, I think what I know what I can do here. I'm then going to link away the Darkness Metal and the King Atum here, and I'm going to summon out my Romulus. And while I'm tempted to grab Glow here to do the combo that I exampled here, I think I'm actually going to grab the Dragunity Divine Lance in this specific case. And this might be one of the very few times I'm going to grab Lance instead of Glow. From there, I'm then going to activate the Divine Lance and then activate Divine Lance's effect to equip onto my Gyderg a Couse. And since Couse is now equipped to a monster, I can then special summon Couse to the field. From there, I'm then going to activate Zephyros' effect in the graveyard to special summon itself to the field by bouncing back that same Lance. I'm then going to activate the Dragon Ravine and then use Dragon Ravine's effect, sending the remaining Legatus in my hand to the graveyard to send another Couse from my deck to the graveyard. Now let's do a quick head count here. We have 1 Couse on the field, a Couse in the graveyard, and a Phalanx in the graveyard as well. Couse can be treated as a level 4, so I'm going to Synchro summon with the Couse and the Zephyros, with the Couse being treated as a level 4 now, to summon out my Dragunity Knight Barca. Barca will then trigger, allowing me to equip any number of Dragunity Dragons from my graveyard. I'm going to equip both Couses, the Phalanx we started with, as well as the Mystletainn in my graveyard. From there, I'm then going to special summon out one of the Dragunity tuners I have, in this case my Phalanx. I'm going to link the Phalanx away to make my Guard Dragon LP. Then I'm going to link away the Romulus as well as the Gay Dirk to summon out Link 3, being my Triple Burst Dragon. Now that I have Triple Burst Dragon and his LP pointing at the same zone, I'm going to activate LP's effect now to special summon a dragon from my deck. This time being my Ravine. Since Ravine was special summoned, Ravine's effect will trigger, allowing me to equip one Dragunity dragon monster from my graveyard, in this case being my Phalanx. I'm then going to special summon the Phalanx, it's equipped to a monster, before then linking away the Ravine as well as the Triple Burst Dragon to summon out a Darksteel. I'm then going to link away the Phalanx to summon out my Pisty, before then linking away the Darksteel and the LP to summon out a Hieratic Spheres. Now this is where I think the combo is going to be very interesting. I'm going to activate the effect of Pisty now, and then using it, I'm going to bring back my Gaydurg onto the field. Then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to then special summon a Couse from my Spell and Trap Zone before linking away the Pisty and the Couse to summon out my Dragon Whelp. Dragon Whelp will then trigger, allowing me to send my Dragon Buster Sword from my deck to the graveyard. Now in this case, I've linked away the Pisty, so I'm no longer locked under special summoning dragons, which means I'm free to activate Gaydurg's effect now, in this case grabbing a Mist Valley Baby Rock from my deck to my hand, and then discarding the Baby Rock. Since Mist Valley Baby Rock was discarded, it special summons out to the field, of which I'll then Synchro summon with the Gaydurg now to summon out a Borreload Savage Dragon. When Borreload Savage Dragon is summoned, I'm then going to equip the Darksteel in my graveyard to it, giving it 4 counters as well as 1400 extra attack. But that's not the only thing I'm doing. I'm then going to special summon out the Couse before then banishing the Barca that's equipped with the Mystletainn to summon back the Ravine in my graveyard. And since Ravine was special summoned, once again it will equip a Dragunity tuner from my graveyard. I'm going to equip the Couse once more. I'm then going to special summon the Couse and then synchro with the Couse and the Ravine to summon out my Adrenabear. Now this is the final part of the combo. See, Ravine here requires that you can special summon it from the graveyard as long as you banish a monster you control that's equipped with a Dragunity card. As it turns out here, Divine Lance can be equipped any number of times, I just can only use the equip effect once per turn. So I'm going to equip the Dragunity Divine Lance to my Couse and then banish the Couse that's equipped with my Dragunity Lance to once again summon back the Ravine onto my field. Ravine will then trigger, allowing me to then equip the Dragon Buster Sword to my Ravine, of which I then will pass my turn to my opponent. So let's do a quick head count here of what we ended up with given our what I thought was a pretty subpar test hand. Starting off, we do have the Hieratic Spheres that we can use to tribute itself to bounce back any monster that our opponent summons that would be a threat, in this case most likely being the Alpha that could threaten our Ravine. And in doing so, we can then summon out a dragon from the deck, probably nothing crazy, but it is another dragon that we can put into the graveyard for another play later. On top of that, we do have a Savage Dragon at 4400 attack that does have an Omni negate 4 times. We have a Dreadabear here, which is at 3300 attack, can negate any monster effect since the fact that we have a number of Dragunities in the graveyard, and should it run everything over, it will banish it. But on top of all of those nice things, we do have the Buster Lock equipped to the Ravine, which prevents our opponent from accessing X deck, limiting their options in breaking this board. On top of that, in terms of follow-up plays, we do have the Dragon Ravine, which can discard any card we draw on the following turn to grab a Dux, which can then allow us to make another level at Synchro through the means of the Dragon Rider combo. And then further on top of that, we do actually have a Remus sitting in the graveyard, which we can use on the following turn to build a board as well, thus giving us, on top of what is already existing in OTK, another big monster that we can put on the field to really break our opponent with. And that's going to do it for our Dragunity deck profile. So my honest opinion on this deck is that this deck is very, very powerful. Not only can this deck summon out multiple level 8 to level 10 synchros, each of them rocking negation, this deck's utility of guard dragons makes this deck almost comparable to something like Dragon Link. This, alongside the fact that it makes use of the equipment mechanic instead of special summoning from hand, deck, or graveyard, makes this deck semi-resilient to hand traps, meaning that this deck can easily play through multiple hand traps and still build a powerful board. Something that I definitely can see putting this deck well into the top contenders for the current meta, post Ghost from the Past. However, I also think that this deck is really hard to play. Even with a subpar hand, the deck has many options of what you can do, and some of them lead to subpar boards, but some of them lead to some pretty powerful boards as well. And this is definitely not a deck that you want to play as a beginner unless you fully understand the mechanics available to you from this deck. Regardless, my name is Tony Yang. This has been the Dragunity deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.